Hello, and thank you for joining us. This is AKP Consulting Group, and we are a division of AKP Acquisitions Group out in El Segundo, California. And today we're going to go into a presentation on how we like to help our clients in three particular areas that we focus on under this division. One is building business credit and helping them also with personal credit. The other is real estate investing. And the main one, which is the business entity management. Once you set up your corporation to build business credit, how do you keep it going? How do you keep it compliant? How do you keep it protected against lawsuits? So a little bit of background about myself. My name is Darron Ross. I go by the name Ross the Investor on social media platforms. I started raising business credit in 2005. One of my wife's friends, she had some tickets to go talk to a business credit guy, and just so happened she couldn't attend it, so she called us and said if we wanted to go, and we went and therefore heard the presentation. And after that, I just took to it like a fish to water, leading all the way up to raising about $500,000 in business credit about the first year of building business credit. With that, went straight into buying some dump trucks because that was what I knew at the time. With my social network and social friends, we were truck drivers. That's what we did. But I didn't want to be over the road. So we took some of that business credit and we bought some dump trucks. And that was going good for about a good two to 3 years. And then when the economy crashed, we lost everything in 2008. We lost our home, cars, you name it. We went downhill like millions of other Americans during that time. But also during that time is where I found my next calling was in real estate investing, and gotten to educate myself on the various aspects of real estate investing, and then got introduced to raising private capital in 2012. Now, at this point, I'm just focused on raising private capital. And since then, I just focused on I've raised millions in capital. I've been invited to some of the elite and still be invited to some of the elite Wall Street social networks with raising private capital, some of the high-end networking of raising private capital. And so now what I do is raise private capital and we raise business credit and utilize both aspects to fund various opportunities. So in this presentation, we're going to go into steps in establishing business credit profile. Once the business credit profile are established, then what? What can you do after that? Also, creating a credit investor. This is going to be very important for those with challenged credit. And then I'm going to talk about this $5 million structure that I've come up with to help you leverage and advance the corporate umbrella and corporate entity structure. But so business credit is the single largest source of capital that anyone can have access to if they have the right knowledge on how to obtain it. Once you obtain business credit, you can do several things. I mean, you can look at leveraging the business credit into real estate investing. What our firm like to focus on are non-performing mortgage notes and multifamilies. And we do these various investments nationwide. But you can also go into looking at starting a new business for those entrepreneurs that has aspirations and ideas of a different type of business venture. Sure, why not? You can use that credit to help start that business. Or you can also purchase a cash flowing business that's already existing, such as franchises, smaller mom and pop businesses. I mean, the list goes on and on. With business credit also gives you access to elite business travel, private jets, first class, whatever you need to do to leverage that credit to make more money. You also get access to you're able to get access to the top attorneys, accountants, and mentors, which is very important. That's part of your team. All three of those categories you need. Then you can use it for marketing, high-end marketing, social media marketing, whatever marketing you need to do, buy spots on television ads and newspaper ads. It's just unlimited what you can do. The main one that I like is that you can also get access to special mastermind groups. And these are circles of elite power people that can also put you in different various positions to help you maximize that business credit once you've raised it to as well. Then you can also get into what we call a cash call syndrome, where you lend out a portion of the business credit and, you know, charge a little interest on it. Then you can also invest in alternative assets such as gold, cryptocurrency, you name it. And then not to mention just allowing you to get more access to capital. Now, we're going to go into detail on what we do under the real estate side of the leveraging that business credit capital. So this is what we like to focus on with some of our business credit capital and some of our private capital that we raise is non-performing mortgage notes. This is a Alabama note deal that we did about a year or two ago, I think somewhere around there. But I'm not going to bore you with the exact details because that would be for another presentation on mortgage notes and how you really make that happen. But I just want to go through some of the numbers to give you an idea of what you can do with business credit. So let's look at this. We have a total value, as is value, of $209,000. Now we came in and we bought that note for that property for $58,000, roughly, right at $58,000. The hard cost was another $14,000 something. So our total investment on that was about $73,013 on a $209,000 valued home. Now the exit strategy we used on this was to buy the note and sell it at a foreclosure auction for $156,750. Remember, we only paid $73,000 for it, so we were able to pull that strategy off, sold it in 12 to 18 months. Even during that time while we were holding on to the note, we were also renting it out. But I didn't count those figures in here just for number's sakes. I just went straight to the investment aspect of it. But this individual deal gave us a 46% return. So we was able to pay back the line of credit we used for the note. And then we were able to secure an extra $156,000 on top of that. So that's kind of something you can do with the notes. Also, here's another 30-unit apartment complex that we use. Same formula. We bought, this is a mixture of private capital and business capital that we use. We end up spending a total of $269,000. And at the end of it, once it was all said and done, we sold it for a quick sale for $430,000 roughly. We made about a 37% return of $161,400. So that's just to give you an idea of what you can do once you've raised some of this high-end business credit. Now, let's talk about the basic structure you need to put in place for a corporation to get to the platform of generating business credit capital. First, you have to have an entity, a corporation or LLC. I like to tell people you can start off with a new LLC or a corporation if you would like. But if you're really trying to go for the maximum in building business credit capital, you want to look at buying an age corporation, preferably 2 years or older. We also provide those as well on an a la carte basis, but you want to have an entity. Then you want to make sure you get your stock kit in place. The stock kit is what I call the Bible of the corporation. It's the book of life for it. It lets you and the board of directors know exactly what you've done in the past, what you're looking to do, and it also gives those it gives the corporation the green light to do certain things. Like even you have to file resolutions when you're looking at raising business credit capital, or you're looking at purchasing or leasing an office space. You need to put a resolution in place for that. And this is something the board of directors come together when they meet once a month and they discuss these things, and you file them all in the stock kit in the resolution format and everything. So if something was to ever happen, another entity or person wants to sue your business for just, I don't know, they get a wild hair and just the wind blows the wrong way one day and they just upset, especially here in California, it happens. So you can, when that happens, you're going to court and the judge would say, let me see the stock kit. And he wants to see, have you been actually operating this corporation as an actual corporation? Or have you been operating, are you an individual operating it under the eyes of a corporation, but you haven't done the right activity to legally be in corporate status? So you want to be careful of that. Then you want to decide on a business location. There's various ways to do this, but you want to have a commercial space. Yeah, you can have a home address, but if you're going for maximum business credit, you have to have a commercial office address. There's just no way around it, but there are ways you can do it without breaking the bank to have a commercial address. Then you want to make sure your phone number is listed in local 411 directories. You want to have a local number and an 800 number. That just makes you look bossier. It makes you stronger. You want to have both of those. Of course, obtain a business license. You want to have a nice website that's informative. And your website will grow when the business grows. But for the beginning, all you need is an about us, contact us, services, and that's really it. Starting out, just to get a web presence out there. But nowadays, you need social media. There's no way around it. A lot of funders will look at your social media page and somewhat take that into consideration on how much they're going to give you. It won't solely be based off that, but they'll look at that. And of course, you need the basics, the ABCs of the entity, which is logo, letterhead, business cards. You have to have those. You want to develop a business plan. Then you want to have a business bank account. Now, when you look at doing a business bank account, you want to at least do $1,000 deposit in there. I know they say the minimum is 100 to open it, but what happens is the banks have certain bank ratings that they use, and based off of which credit or which checking account you open up, that determines the bank rating that you get. This rating also helps when you come to that particular bank for a line of credit or a credit card. Now, you want to make sure you're set up in Duns & Bradstreet and get your Duns & Bradstreet number. That's going to be essential for building business credit. Then next you have Experian Business. That profile is generated on its own. Equifax is generated on its own. Credit Safe, is generated on its own, but you can also build that up just like Duns & Bradstreet. Now, with knowing all that, you have to understand the right way a corporation needs to look to have the right business credit profile for funding. You need to have the right type of business name, the best entity structure for what that business does. If you need a foreign qualification, if this is a corporation that was out of state, you need to foreign qualify it in a state where the officers are that will be raising the credit, the officers that will be signing on behalf of the credit. Because even though you can get some credit with no personal guarantee, there's still a lot of people, a lot of banks or funding institutions that still want a responsible party on that loan, and they will definitely weigh your personal credit into making that decision. Now, these last three, establishing divisions, the function of your entity and divisions, and the high risk and low risk businesses. These are things that you do when you focus on looking at doing divisions, and we'll get into divisions a little further down on the presentation, but establishing divisions helps your main corporate entity look a lot more valuable than just having one business under that conglomerate. You want to remember, you want to look like a Fortune 500 company, because if you look like you don't need money, that's how you get money. You want to stay out of the high risk genres of business credit. These are just a few of the high risk areas, but these right here will definitely get you not funded at all. The underwriter would just not even entertain it. You got real estate companies, you got lending companies, you got cannabis companies, accounting companies, manufacturing, staffing agencies, insurance companies, construction companies, retail companies, agricultural companies. These are just some of the ones that are red buzzwords where the funders will just be like, no, we can't fund that. And they'll give you various different reasons why, but it'll still be a no. So let's look at, okay, you set all this up, bam, you got the nice business profile, you set up on Dun & Bradstreet, you set up an Experian business. Now it's time to start building credit. And you can do this several different ways. The more organic way of doing it, which is what we did the very first time, which it took us to $500,000. We raised that in a year. It took us a year to raise $500,000. That was a more organic, slow approach to it. But once you get your profile set up, you can do it that same way too. If you're not in a rush to build a business credit, which is set up net 30 accounts, you can do that within 60 days of having an entity structure set up the way I just talked to you about in the previous slides. And then you want to obtain unlimited credit in the vendor account. So that means you want to continually go after different vendors. And we also can provide you with a list of established vendors. When you're ready to go to that level for a small fee. Of course, if you're under our consulting umbrella, then that comes along with the package once you're ready to start building your profiles out. Retail business credit cards, you start going for those, like your Staples, your J.C. Penney's, your Sears, or your Midas's, your Midas, the car auto places. You start doing those credits. And then once you get those established, now it's time to go into the no PG and the PG Visa, MasterCard, credit card type establishments where you start doing 10 to 50K in revolving credit cards. Now, this is the organic approach. So you're looking at about a year to kind of get that going and set up. Now, to speed that process up even faster, you want to have what I call a CFO or a strong credit investor partner. And the reason why I say this is because even though you might not have to personally guarantee it, but sometimes these funding sources, they would like to do a soft pull and look at the officer's credit profile and see, well, hey, are they responsible with paying back their bills? And if they are, then cool, we'll give them this money. But if they're not, then it's most likely that you're not going to get funding from that source. So what I tell people is, if you're personally challenged in your personal credit area, you want to look at hiring a credit investor partner or a credit partner that'll sit on your board for the whole purpose of obtaining business credit capital. Now, you want to make sure they meet certain criteria, which I've listed here. For one, you want to make sure they have at least a 720 credit score or better on all three credit bureaus. You want to make sure they are a U.S. citizen. And then you want to make sure they have 3 or more revolving credit accounts with credit limits over $10,000. So if they have credit cards and it's $5,000 and under, you got to remember a rule of thumb is however how much credit the lender sees on your personal credit profile, they kind of base that off of what they're going to give you. When you're a newly established corporation, now if you're an aged corporation and you build out the profile like I'm going to show you how we can do in these next few slides, then you can get that easy breezy, no worries. You want to make sure the credit profiler, their credit cards are not used more than 30%. The low utilization always looks good. You want to make sure they had at least an auto loan that was open or closed, a mortgage that's open or closed, no bankruptcy, no federal tax liens, no collection accounts whatsoever, no public records such as lawsuits of any kind, no late payments, within the last 30 days, no more than 6 inquiries on current inquiries on the credit profile, and a minimum of 7 to 10 years credit history. Now, you saying, okay, Ross, man, I don't have anyone that will do that for me. So, okay, we also have our personal credit enhancement program that can work, where we can work with you with getting you established to this point, to where now you're in place and you're that officer. It takes a little more time, but if you have to go that route, then of course we have options for that on the personal credit side. Now, since this October, well, just for the month of October, we've helped our small business clients raise collectively about $1,070,000 in business and personal credit collectively together. So just to give you an idea of what type of volume and what we're looking at doing. Now, this is going some organic and some of the what I call advanced methods that we're going to get ready to get into discussing. But let's talk about some of the results that we've been seeing with our program. So let's look at the right side of the screen first. So these are smaller amounts that we've gotten people under the personal within the last year plus 6 months plus of working with them. And one of my clients just earlier this month, she called me and her card went out. So she was using her mom's card. Then her mom's card went out and she was trying to work on building her credit up so she can do the big corporate credit building program with us. But she was already positioned to be able to obtain a $50,000 auto loan from one of the credit bureaus, and she couldn't believe it. I told her she was in a position to go in there and do it with no money down. She could not believe that she was able to go in there with no money down, and they gave her that loan to go out here and shop for her car. And so that's what happens. She just finished clearing, getting financed to go into our bigger corporate program, which we're going to go into those options in a little bit too as well. But that was one of our clients. We got another client, another $75,000 earlier this year. And the client on the bottom right-hand side right here, about another $197,000. And they use that to do some work on their home, expand their business a little bit. Now they want to think about building another business corporation. So it's various things you can do. But now let's look at the left side right here. And this is the results of our most powerful packages yet. And these are the ones where we accelerate your business funding and get the corporation looking advanced within 90 days. Within 90 days, we have these established trade lines added to your business credit profile, which accelerates the amount of capital that you can go and get when you go and apply for credit. Now, mind you, we don't apply for credit for you. What we do is we establish your profiles to where they look a certain way to where you will be able to attract this type of capital and lines of credit when you go and apply. So one of our clients, they got a $400,000 line of credit from Frost Bank out in Texas. Another one got, the same client got $500,000 from Texas Capital Bank. We had another client that got $400,000 from Regis Bank, Dimension Funding, an equipment financing company that financed one of our clients that has a trucking business. I mean, the list goes on and on when you do this advanced method that I'm going to introduce you guys to in a minute. Now, let's talk about the $5 million structure. And this is all in corporate credit, and this can be obtained, especially in states that allow you to file divisions where you have the divisions listed on the actual Secretary of State profile. When you set these entities up and you start raising business credit capital under your main entity, The rule of thumb usually is that if you raised $1 million on your main entity, you can set up a division or several divisions, and you can piggyback off that million with the same lending institution, and they'll give you 50% of the loan that they actually issued you. So when we talk about the main corporation having $1 million in business line of credit, that's from a few different sources, not $1 million from one source. It's better when you're looking at funding at these higher levels to obtain them from multiple sources, because that's how you max out how much you can get. So you have the $1 million under the main entity, and you have $500,000 across the board under 9 different divisions. And these divisions are totally separate from each other and all have different functions. They have different looks, different logos, different coloring, even some different addresses. Not all of them have to have different addresses, but some. And it all depends on your strategy on what you want to try and do. This can be done from state to state. $5 million structure, you do the math on that. Now, you're like, okay, I got it. Now, what is it going to cost me to do the advanced level? I know that's what you're thinking, because who in their right mind would want to do the organic baby level when you can get out here and really fly and maximize and build up credit in 90 days, where you can go out here and get 100 plus in capital? Now, here's our first package that we offer. It's for a 2-year corporation, and that gives you all the bells and whistles. We set up everything from the website to the address location to the phone number. This is totally hands off. We handle all of this, and we give you a complete corporation with stock kit, everything. And on top of that, you have these different business trade lines added onto your Equifax, PayNet lease, small business funding profiles. And then you have store lines of credit for this first package. All of these are $30,000 lines of credits that we established. The 3 store lines of credit, they total up to 30,000. So it could be a variation of 5, 7, 15, something like that. So all these lines are aged with low balances. Now, I know what you're thinking. Man, $13,000? Well, let's look. The minimum estimated amount of funding that could be obtained is $100,000. So who wouldn't want to take $13,000 and control $100,000 and control $100,000? So let's talk about what happens at that point. So if you got the 2-year corp, you're looking at, you can obtain a minimum of $100K in financing at that point. So you say, okay, I want to do more than $100K though, Ross. That's not enough. And we have our next package. It's at $15,500. Same thing, 2-year corp, all the bells and whistles. We get it all set up. But now you're looking at having $50,000 lines of credit being added to your business credit profiles, and still aged with the same low balances. Minimum estimated amount of funding that can be obtained with that is around $150,000. So you're saying, okay, Ross, I like that, but I would still like to go bigger. We can keep going all day with this. We have a $20,000 package for a 2-year corporation, bells and whistles, but now you're looking at lines of credit loans from $80,000, small business financing loan, $80,000, PayNet lease loans. So all these PayNet leases are equipment loans, and these help when you want to get a car under your corporation name and things like that. And on this last package, you take $20,000 and leveraging it to at least $175,000 in business credit. Now, this right here, we get the ball going for any individual that's looking to just obtain some business credit capital to figure out what you want to do. You might not know exactly what you want to do at that point yet, but it's better to be in a position once you figure it out to go ahead and go after it than to figure it out and then get stopped because you don't really have the capital to go any further. Now, for those more savvy, aggressive, higher professional levels, we do have more higher end credit profile packages. Now, this is a 5-year corporation. We do the whole bells and whistles setup, from everything from setting it up to the website to everything. Once again, once it's done, we hand you the book complete with resolutions, everything that's been done to obtain these different credits. But the big difference here is now it jumps up. Now we're adding $120,000 lines of credit on your Equifax profile, 3 store lines of credit that total $120,000 small business finance loan, $120K pay net lease loan. So now you're looking even stronger and even more powerful because it's a 5-year corp and you have higher trade lines. Minimum estimated amount of funding you can obtain with this is $200K plus. Now, you like, this is what I need. I want to go into real estate investing. I need more capital. But this is still not enough. Bam, here we go. Advanced package number 5, 10-year corporation. You're looking at all the bells and whistles getting set up again, with you having a variation of $150,000 on your Equifax Financial, 1 term loan for $300,000 on Equifax Financial, 3 lines of credit for $200K, that total $200K retail, $150,000 small business finance loan, another $175,000 small business finance loan, and $125,000 pay net lease. I mean, you are blowing it out the water with this profile right here. This is for those that are really trying to be aggressive and go after capital funding and have an idea for what they want to do with the capital funding. The estimated amount of funding minimally that you can look at obtaining with this type of credit profile is $250,000. That's the minimum. Now you say, okay, Ross, but I already have a corporation. I don't need the corporation part, but I do want to do the lines of credit, add those to my business profile. No problem. We do an a la carte option where we separate it out, break it out. The only thing we need to do is we need to make sure, do the checks and balances on your corporation and make sure that it's in good standing, because the last thing we want to do is get those trade lines added onto your business credit and you cannot go out here and obtain any funding because you don't have anything in place. So you're like, Ross, man, all this sounds good, but here's my problem. I'm broke, but I would love to do this. Do you have options for payment? Of course, we have options for payments. Now let's talk about some options that you could possibly come up with that maybe you haven't thought about for obtaining the capital in order to set up this entity or corporation. So some available payment options. Of course, cash, a cashier's check, cash in the form of a cashier's check or money order. You can also do credit card. If you already have a credit card with a high-end limit of $20,000 or something like that, maybe you could look at charging the packages on your credit card. We charge an extra 3% on top of that to charge a credit card with our services. But you can also look at obtaining private capital. Hey, hey, auntie, I got this opportunity where we could take, 40,000, 13,000, whatever threshold you're comfortable with, and we could generate another 100,000+ in business credit that we could use to go out here and invest. We could buy a house, fix it up, flip it. You do all kind of stuff. So auntie, look, if you decide to partner up with me on doing this, then I will provide you a 15% return on your capital annually. I'm sure they're not getting that sitting in their retirement account. I'm positive they're not getting that sitting in their retirement account or sitting in their bank account. So that's another option you can look at doing. We also have an option of if you've left your company, a company you used to work for, and you still have an old 401k sitting there that's not generating any money, because technically when you leave that company, it's usually 401ks are matched dollar per dollar. So when you're not matching any dollars, neither are they really. So the focus on your account shifts to someone that is, because that's what helps them make more money. You can move that money into a self-directed IRA. Now you can use that self-directed IRA to invest in various different business opportunities. And if you would like more information on that, you can reach out to me, get in contact to me. I'll definitely get you over one of our presentations that go through and explain how you can utilize the self-directed IRAs and move that old capital from your old company into a new IRA that you can then use and invest and make, higher returns than what you're seeing at the banks or anything like that. Now, our other option is financing. We have created a financing component under our company to where we can allow financing for these different packages. Now, here's the thing. In order for you to be able to get finance, you have to have at least a 620 FICO score, and you cannot have any new lates within the past 6 months. Any new lates. You can't have more than 3 over the last year. And that's it. And we can look at financing that for you. And then I'll also have a proprietary method that if you would like to go through financing, I can also structure it in a certain way to where you don't make any payments for the first 3 to 4 months. And for those of you that's interested in doing the financing, you can get in contact with me and we could talk about that in more detail. Now, let's talk about if you're ready to move forward and do something today. And this is only for today only. These are our bunny ear options for those guys like the gentleman in the pink tie here. That's you bunny eared. You don't have any capital right now, or you don't have enough capital to do what we need to do. So what we've done is we went through and we have reduced some of the prices only for today. I'll extend it for the next 48 hours. And for those people that want to do this, you have to reach out and get in touch with me. Hey, I want to do package 1. I want to do package 2, or I want to do package 1 with the 5-year corp. We got those options too. And then the other options that we have as well is just the trade lines by themselves. We could talk about that too if you already have a corporation in good standing. So who is ready to change their future? You got to be ready. Once you heard this, I've given you the method, the strategy, the steps, the way to pay for this without coming out of your pocket. You have no excuse not to get involved and get down with this, to build this business credit capital so you can go off and do the amazing things that I know that you have in your mind to do. Don't let finances be a reason why you can't obtain and live your future in a better way or the way that you would like to. Now, some of the other services we offer that we can help you with: real estate investment consulting. Let's say you want to do this, you want to build a business credit up, but you just don't have any business ideas to generate more capital. We can sit down, we can talk about it. You can hire us to consult with you to help you do some of the real estate investments we do through the mortgage notes and the multifamily channels. And we can help you take that capital and make more money off of it and get that going for you. We also do corporate identity training. You have to know what your corporation is about in and out. When you go to talk to the funding and underwriters, which is what we also provide funding and underwriting training to as well, you need to be able to talk to them fluently and explain your business, what it's doing, where the future is going forward, all of that stuff. We do a training for all that to get you set up on how to speak with them. Now, for people that say, well, you know what? I don't want to fool with any of the business credit capital stuff. I don't want to do any of that. But I do like that note presentation you did and the multifamily presentation. I have these retirement funds just sitting in the account where I'm making maybe 3 to 5%, maybe somewhere around there. I would like to make more money. So we can absolutely work with you through our private investor channels to put you in a position to generate more returns on your capital. Definitely get in touch with me on that, and we can sit down and talk about that. Like I said, we do our residential and commercial note investing, commercial we also do commercial multifamily analytics and analyze a lot of opportunities and deals for other investors that are looking to purchase a multifamily, but they don't really know how this thing is going to cash flow. They don't know the proper numbers to take to their private and capital investors. So they come to us and we lay out a structure and a platform and a plan for them to go and talk to their private investor channels. And then we also do the business acquisitions, such as small businesses, franchises. I mean, the list goes on and on. If it generates money and make return, we're looking at putting that business capital into it to help us keep growing capital. Now, if you have any questions, you can reach out to me. My contact info is here, Darron Ross. I'm president, senior consultant of AKP Acquisitions Group, doing business as AKP Consulting Group. One of our office locations is in Wilshire and in Los Angeles, California. And our other location is in El Segundo, California. And we're looking at reestablishing in Atlanta, Georgia right now too as well. Here's my contact information, phone number 323-940-4291, or you can reach out to me at ross@akpconsulting.net. And that'll be it. Thank you for your time, and you guys have a great evening. Thank you.